Hello and welcome to the Carry On Gaming podcast, where each week 3 very different people come together in a modern world to talk about what we're playing, what we're excited to play, and most importantly, we try to keep calm and carry on gaming. My name is Grady. You can find me on Twitter at @afriendlypest, and I'm joined by...
I'm Stefan, and you can find me on Twitter as Hellblazer_Sith.
I'm Dan. You can find me on Twitter at JohnAmanDan, and this episode is sponsored by Windows 11.
Let's start with what we're playing right now, and it's something I think you've coined, Stefan, and it should stay forever and always. Dan, you like talking. Why don't you start?
This is the type of thing I get. Okay, so this past week I've been playing a lot of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and really enjoying it. Insomniac have definitely become probably my favourite game developer in these past few years, just because, one, their games are fantastic, a lot of fun. Two, they're a bloody workhorse. We only got Miles Morales last year, and suddenly we have Ratchet and Clank already. Bloody champions they are, and they do it without having to crunch either, so it's really impressive. It's a great game, really a lot of fun. You can really see it putting, the PS5 for its paces, finally. I've been waiting for a game to show us, what next gen can do. This is probably like the first example of something that can show like what these consoles are capable of with the Rift tech. Really enjoying that. Still about 15 or 16 hours in now, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
15 hours, Dan. How much further do you think you have to go?
I think it's only about 2 or 3 hours more.
And you're playing it pretty thoroughly, then you're trying to find everything or really savor it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be... I'm not the type to collect 100%, but I'm looking for the golden bolts because you get little bonuses. For example, I got one like the other night, and it turns all the bolts into fizzy cans from Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Cool.
It's really cool. Speaking of Sunset Overdrive, I've currently got that downloading on my Xbox again. Really looking forward to giving that a go. I haven't played it in a few years.
I don't think it got an upgrade or a patch. I think it still runs at 30 frames per second, so you'll notice that. But still a great game, one of my favorite games of last generation. I don't have a PS5, and I know one of the biggest differences is the controller. How does Ratchet and Clank leverage that controller?
It's the biggest thing with Ratchet and Clank is the adaptive triggers. Like you can use the triggers are really used in the gunplay. For example, with a lot of the guns, you hold down, like you just lightly tap the right trigger, set off the primary fire. But if you pull down on the trigger all the way, you'll set off the secondary fire. So, for example, with one gun, if you hold down just hold it down a little bit, you get like targeting arc. Like in Gears of War when you're throwing the grenade.
Right, yep.
You'll get that for the gun, and if you pull it down fully, then the gun will fire, or the bomb will be thrown. It's cool, and also you can feel with the haptic motors in the controller, you can really feel when you're running across like a surface. So if you're running across glass, you'll get like a ding, or if you're trudging through snow or something, the controller will it'll get a bit heavier in your hands. It's really cool. It's like I'd like to see more of that used.
That sounds quite cool. Good use
does,
of the controller.
Mm.
Reminds me a bit of Red Dead Redemption 2 with the controls. I was trying to play it with my Elite controller with the button on so the right trigger can't go all the way down, and I couldn't ride my horse because of it.
Oh, yeah.
You can go into the controller settings and actually make it see a full pull even on the shorter throw. But
Yeah, I worked that out afterwards.
yeah, that's one of my favorite games ever, by the way. Probably overall my favorite game ever made, Red Dead Redemption 2. But that's
Actually, I only played it again for the first time 2 months ago since I finished it.
Game.
It's even better than the second time.
It is. I don't know why. I started replaying it myself. Steph, what are you playing?
I've been playing FIFA 21 as New York City... What do you Americans call it?
Soccer?
Yeah, so I'm playing as New York City.
Heathens.
Not New York Red Bulls. I found out there's 2 teams in New York because I don't play as my favourite team, Manchester United. I like to make it an aim to play as... Because you've got different game modes. I don't care about the game modes. I just want to play pro. So I
mean, you want a chance to win, too, so you wouldn't want to be Manchester.
I'm playing as a beginner, and whatever, Grady, I'm going to ignore that comment. Where are you? Have you won a World Cup?
About soccer? I'm just talking crap.
I know. So, so I played PS Pro, so I try getting transferred into Premier League, but we'll see what happens. I've not even completed my first season yet. Germany hasn't taken me on their national team. Disgraceful.
How the hell can New York play in the Premier League?
They're not playing in the Premier League. I'm trying to transfer my player to the Premier League.
Oh,
you
I
gotta
see.
pay extra for the
Long-term
Premium League? Is it different? It's not like a bronze league, or you got to pay extra for the Premium League?
You do if it's on, if you're paying to watch it. So what else have I been playing? I've been playing on my mobile game, playing Crush Them All. They call it a idle role-playing game, which it is not. The only idle bit is your staging. So basically, you get heroes, you put your staging team down, you do battles, you're in a guild. Hello, Tiny Trotters, if you're listening.
Shout out.
It's basically very casual, but PvP focused. There is kind of pay to win element, but it's not that heavy because you can still get everything playing for free, but it's just quicker if you spend money on it. I have also been playing Tetris on my phone, because why not? Sonic 2 and Solitaire.
Sonic 2.
Yeah. It actually works quite well on the iPhone. I tried Yakuza, so the beginning was really interesting, and then I got to the bit after the fight, and I'm like, okay, I need to actually pay attention to this, so I stopped playing. But it looks good. That looks like really promising.
I really like it, so I hope you do too.
And Sims 4. Well, the only thing coming out for Sims is Cottage Living.
They're also having a series of live concerts in The Sims 4 at the minute for some reason.
It's so
Really?
bad. It is bad, apparently. I haven't tried it yet because I have to fix all my mods after the update released yesterday, so I have not played it yet. But Cottage Living is out on, I believe, the 22nd of July. I will buy it because I buy everything on Sims 4. EA has my debit card. Yeah.
That's did you not hear EA have patented a new controller? It's called a chip and pin machine.
Oh, come on now.
But exciting news, the best thing ever announced this year, apart from Starfield, there's new content for Star Wars The Old Republic.
Very nice.
So it looks like new story, go to Manaan, have some war. I can't wait. I am disappearing for the rest of the month when that's out.
Because the Knights of the Eternal Throne, like that whole storyline was fantastic.
So good. So good. I don't want to
thought
get
they were
Disney.
adding,
spoilers.
like, more ambient
Disney,
music,
if you're listening, make a Disney Plus series out of that.
like background rain, you know what I mean, or wind and sea, birds, stuff like, to help you sleep even more than that game already does. I thought that's what they were adding.
So rude.
Go away, you bloody Star Trek fanboy.
The only way to play the Old Republic is as an Imperial agent who's a Sith. Everyone else playing something else is wrong.
I
Just
say it's a
I played that
Jedi,
some,
and
I
have
liked it
two.
too, actually.
I have two characters. I have a Jedi male and a Sith female, and I pretend they're twins.
You role play Star Wars: The Old
we're not
Republic.
We're not going to talk about roleplay on the Old Republic. I have seen some stuff which has scarred me for life. But I've got like 10 characters, completed the story in all of them because I wanted this lovely badge you get, and I've got to bring up all my characters to full story. Anyway, that's enough of that. What about Yakuza? What have you been up to on there, Grady?
So primarily I've been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I am really enjoying. I just completed Chapter 6 last night. I have no idea how many chapters there are or how much further I have to go, but I'm really enjoying the game, and I've kind of dabbled in the other Yakuzas and enjoyed them, but it seems like I always got distracted by something else, so really pushing to actually play through this one. And its combat's different because it's turn-based, which I don't know if I prefer or not, but I also don't hate it. Really enjoying it. Find myself regularly laughing out loud, which a lot of games don't do that for me. What was that, Dan?
I was going to ask, what's the big difference between, going from the action combat to the turn-based? Like, is it jarring, or does it work?
So it's basically, what it reminds me of it, like Dragon Age Origins, the combat in there?
Oh, yes.
So it's like that. So you basically press a button, it'll do an attack, then he gets an attack, then you get an attack, but you don't really notice it as much.
There's also some quick time stuff that can add damage, and you can turn that stuff off in the accessibility options. And then there's, like any RPG, there's abilities to pick through, and there's this thing where you can kind of phone a friend, which is pretty hilarious, and they'll show up and do damage, but you got to pay them yen to do it. And I won't spoil that because that was the highlight whenever I unlocked that ability. And it seems like, I've played the game quite a bit. I don't know how many hours, but it seems like it's still rolling out stuff that I didn't know it could do. And then it's got so many mini-games in it, which I admit at first, like I do the mini-game and then I'm never doing the mini-game again. Some of them have grabbed me. Like there's kind of a business simulator. You wind up running a business and you got to decide what to invest in and employees and keep them happy. And you've got deadlines and shareholders to keep happy. And all outside of the regular game, which the story I'm really enjoying, and I find the characters very likable. So
I'm
Yakuza Like a Dragon
in that mini game. That's
it's
all
great.
I'm gonna play.
It's great. It's awesome. I love it. Anyway,
How many of these mecha games are in it?
I have no idea. lots and lots and lots.
I've got it downloading as well, so I'll be trying that too.
And, brings me to my next point. I've also been playing it on XCloud, which we will discuss later in the show as it's been upgraded. But that's a great way to test a game before you download it. If you pull it up on XCloud and see, well, I like this enough that I want to download it and be able to play it locally and have the best version of it. I've also been playing the Sea of Thieves Pirate's Life expansions. There are 5 tall tales that they've added.
Arr.
You know why pirates are such good singers? Because they hit the high seas.
Oh, God's sake.
You're welcome.
Was that the one you were waiting to tell?
I've been waiting all day to tell you guys that. Worth it.
That's so bad. That is going into the cringe section with
That's
Dan.
not cringe. It's fantastic. I'm not as hot on the expansion as some people, and maybe that's because I've never been to Disney and I've never been part of the attraction. My understanding is Pirates of the Caribbean is an attraction at Disney, and that became the movies, and then it's been put together in the game, and there's a lot of parts that highlight the attraction that I don't recognize as much because I've never been there.
Been there. The only thing I can think of is boat ride at Disney.
I've been to the one in Disneyland Paris, and it's a boat ride.
It feels, some of the content, which I've done the first 3 tales. The first one especially feels kind of like you're at an attraction at a park. You're there, you're participating, you're solving some light puzzles, you're listening to great dialogues, but it feels like an attraction, almost like one of those themed restaurants where people come out in costumes or whatever. It's not as much a game as I expected as an experience and attraction. And in the second tale, I would say it was much more a game, and I found that I enjoyed that more than, say, the first one. And there's a lot of puzzle or secrets to find in these 2 that I need to dig through. There's more to them than I have experienced, and I am enjoying them, even if I'm not quite as hot on them as some of the people online I've seen. And then I would say I also enjoyed the 3rd one a lot, so I'm really looking forward to the 4th one and the 5th one. There's a lot of people that are giving their feedback. It's after they've completed all 5, and they're walking away with a really positive impression from the total experience. So what I'm saying right now is kind of early impressions. I'm enjoying myself. I think it's great that they've added more content to Sea of Thieves in an avenue that's not just PvP or more of the same. These focused storytelling instances, much more interesting to me, and I think a great addition to the game, and maybe one of the best crossovers ever in a video game. So there you go.
Speaking of additions to the Sea of Thieves canon, Grady thought it would be a good idea if he would torture me and Steph this week.
Oh, don't.
So we all got together and we put a little something together for you to enjoy. So we have our debut single coming out soon.
Yeah. Let's not spoil it, but
He's
look
gonna
forward to
win
next
millions
week.
of record contracts.
Something Sea of Thieves themed is coming to the podcast next week. Look forward to that. I don't want to spoil it yet.
Yeah, it's going to be Grady in a pirate costume.
Let's
with
move
pink
on.
boots.
Any gadgets you want to showcase or review, either of you?
So I want to talk about my Razer. I was going to say Kraken. It's not Kraken, but yeah, it is Kraken. My Razer Kraken Ultimate headset. So I moved from a Corsair headset to the Razer because the cable broke. Really quite liking it. It's really comfortable to wear on the head, and it doesn't push down on the glasses, which I found my Corsair was doing. There's more controls with the Razer Synapse app, and I've got a Razer keyboard and mouse, so it all fits in really nicely. I have no complaints about this headset.
That's the one you got for £20, right?
No, this is the £110 one. The £20 one is my Xbox headset, which I'm yet to test, because I can imagine it'll be top quality sound.
Only the best for £20.
And then for £12, I bought this thing for my iPhone to play with the XCloud, but then I noticed my controller's out of battery, so I couldn't test it.
To be continued.
Any gadgets, Dan?
I recently picked up the Xbox wireless headset. Really enjoying it, really like it. Really nice build quality. Sounds really nice. You do have to mess with the mic monitoring settings a little bit because it can be quite sensitive, but it's a really nice headset. It was a bugger to get though. It took me about 3 months after it came out, but I really like it. The only thing I don't like about it at the minute, it's fine, like it connects to the Xbox as soon as you turn it on, that's great. But when I want to use it on my Mac or a phone or something, it will turn the Xbox on downstairs even if it's off, and then it will connect and disconnect in my ear. It's really annoying.
Yeah, that would get annoying. I think I saw Jason Ronald say on Twitter that they're looking to make that something that you can enable or disable, which would be a huge improvement. Otherwise, kind of surprised they did that to begin with, but it would definitely be nice to be able to turn that off.
That just
But it's a great...
of Xbox streaming with the Windows 10. When someone steals your account and plays Borderlands 3 on it, you can jump in and mess around. Great fun, highly recommend.
Windows 11.
No.
Nice.
No.
I love it. Anything else, Dan?
Nah, that's me for this week.
Okay, I got a Razer Kishi to use with my Android A50 smartphone to play Xbox XCloud, which they call it something else, right? But anyway, it's the streaming service that's part of their Gamepass Ultimate subscription, allows you to play games wherever you are as long as you've got a good enough internet connection. And I would say, initially, my opinion on the device itself, the Razer Kishi, was kind of low. And I think that's partially because we're spoiled so much by modern controllers, the Xbox Series controllers, even the Xbox One controller, and say the PlayStation 5. I think those controllers are so good and made from such premium materials that whenever you get something that's third party, maybe your expectations are a little out of adjustment. The more I use it, the more I like it. But I will say the button feel, the trigger feel, just the texture of the plastic isn't quite what I expected it to be for the price. So in my opinion, look for it on sale if you want one, and then also make sure it's going to fit your phone. Because I didn't do that, but I was lucky, and it does fit my phone. Something I didn't even think about until it arrived, but it was the right USB type and expanded far enough out for the device. Also,
how much is it?
Well, it was like $90. I got mine right before the Prime sale because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, stupid. Because it was like 30% off. And then I think they also just added like some kind of promotion. Maybe 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate comes with the damn thing, right? Also. And so, of course, I ordered it, so now it's going to be awesome, right? It's going to be a quarter of the cost and come with a ton of extra features.
Speaking of ordering things off the Prime sale, though, you were very naughty this week, weren't you?
Well, quite naughty, Dan, quite naughty.
Very naughty.
Ordered an LG C1 55-inch for the man cave, which is OLED. And according to rtings.com, it's considered to be one of the finest gaming displays you can get for console, at least.
Mine's bigger
I was very excited about it. Hey, I hear that a lot.
That's
what she said.
I was waiting for that. Thank you.
Anyway, my previous TV I got with my Xbox One S, and it was a 4K TV that supported HDR, but for whatever reason, the HDR was not supported by the console, or it didn't support the console's version of HDR. I don't know, and I didn't even realize that whenever I bought it, because it was so much better than my other TV that I thought the HDR even worked, right? So found out later not. Anyway, in comparison, this new TV is fantastic. It's hard to exaggerate how much better it looks, especially in low light situations. Like in Sea of Thieves, when it was dark with my old TV, I had to have my lantern out all the time. I just couldn't see. There was no detail in the dark. In this, not only are the blacks blacker and the brights brighter, but it seems like in low light situations I can still see. There's a lot of detail. It's so much better. The image is sharper. I'm thrilled with it. It supports 120 hertz, which I did not expect to be able to feel the difference, but I can. Sea of Thieves, for example, supports that, and I toggled back and forth between the 60 and the 120 to feel the difference and see the difference. And ultimately, because Sea of Thieves is kind of a more cinematic experience game, I went with 60 because I wanted the extra graphical boost rather than the response of 120 hertz. And maybe if I was a competitive player, then I would prefer the 120 hertz. In this case, stuck with 60, very happy with it. It also has the variable refresh rate, which I've noticed gives me a smoother experience overall because it can hide your console's frame dips. Very happy with the TV, and I wouldn't have been able to buy it without the Prime sale, so shout out to Bezos, great guy, heard he's going to the moon.
Oh, Jesus.
I do like the OLED. I did like it when I had a remote for it, so Grady, if you don't need your remote, please send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it over with Andromeda.
Oh, please.
And Mass Effect. Halo? Do you still have Halo?
No, he sent me Halo. I just need to collect Andromeda for him. But no.
Your biscuit's going to eat it anyway, so I don't know why you want me to send it to you.
So you have something else to me.
Mediocre game, noms.
I tried playing Skyrim on it, the OLED, and I've noticed a big difference between my old TV and new TV. Even though Skyrim didn't have a graphics update, there's a huge difference with the whole low light and blacks being black, lights being lighter. It's a huge game changer, and it works so
awesome.
Nicely with the Series X.
You two are making me really jealous because I don't have an OLED. I have a nano LED, so I don't. It's a nice TV, but it wouldn't.
To be honest, I don't know how they compare it. It could, probably a fantastic display, but I'm just saying in comparison to my old TV, which wasn't a nano LED, it's just a regular LED 4K older Sony device, which was moderately rated, and I enjoyed the TV immensely, but not a patch on this new OLED, that's for sure.
Me, previous TV was just HD, nothing special, so it's actually quite a nice difference.
That's like jumping from a Chinese pirated video to a 4K Blu-ray.
It's nice, but especially because I've only got the Xbox One original. Thank you from Xbox UK, because I won the Witcher one. Yeah, so...
Do you still have that?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's probably, I don't know if it's worth anything or not, but it's still cool.
Someone offered to buy it off me for £3,000. I'm like, nope.
I'd have probably took the £3,000, but...
I wouldn't.
Witcher
it's
3 is a
bragging
great game.
rights.
Shout out to Witcher 3, fantastic. Hope they make another Witcher game. I love that.
Cyberpunk, no.
I didn't play Cyberpunk. One of these days.
Ugh.
One of these days.
Don't get Cyberpunk.
I believe in CD Projekt Red.
I do when they fix it.
Moving on to the news. Dan, you'd like to go first?
Some interesting news this week. I'll start with the news that came out today. So Sony's had an interesting week. Like I mentioned before in the first episode, and earlier, I play on everything. I play on Xbox and PlayStation, and I really enjoy Sony's games. But it doesn't mean I always enjoy the business practices that Sony get up to. So this week, firstly, they announced that they'd acquired 2 studios. So I forgot the name of the studio.
Absolutely. Well, Phil, Steph, do you have any news?
Windows 11 is coming out at the end of this year. I am
We're
not
all very
looking
excited
forward
about
to
it. We're all very excited.
So one of the requirements is TPM 2.0.
What's that mean?
I have no bloody clue.
Can't talk about it if you don't know. Go on.
Well, you put me off now. Yeah, so it's coming out. It basically has curved windows. It looks a bit like the old 8.1 mixed with Windows 10 because Microsoft never learned with Windows. So there is some minimal requirements. So you should see new computers coming with Windows 11 probably around August, September time. There will be a free upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. I haven't started rolling those out yet. I don't think that we're planning on doing that. I work in IT as my full-time job. So it'll be
You can't wait for it.
Oh, don't.
Very excited, very excited.
Very excited.
But the good news is I think Windows 10 is still going to be supported
Yeah,
until, 2025?
Yeah, 2025. But it'll be interesting to see because what people have been complaining about Windows 11, that it's going to be, you need a Microsoft account, but you need one for Windows 10. Yeah, you can get around it, but not with the Home Edition. So I don't see it as a major thing. And the way Windows is going, it is going with the subscription model. And you see that with Microsoft 365 with your Office products. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Windows 11 has. But everything with Windows breaks. So I wonder what difficulties I'll bring at work. I might see if my own PC can go onto Windows 11, but I doubt it because it's 7 years old now. But I'm intrigued because I'd rather play with it before I have to work with it.
You know, I'm not too fussed about it because my computer's already at least 3 years old. So, whether or not it's compatible with new software doesn't really bother me, I guess, because by 2025 I'm going to have to upgrade anyway. So I'll keep my eyes on it.
TPM is the trusted platform module.
That's made up. That don't mean anything. Dan, you want to finish your news?
So Sony had an interesting week. They recently acquired. They announced that they've acquired Housemarque, who are the developers behind the recent Returnal. I still haven't played it myself. It's meant to be good, but I'm not really into roguelikes, except Hades. That's the one exception. But they're a good studio. I really enjoyed Super Stardust HD and Resogun when that launched on the PS4. That was a lot of fun. So that's a good pickup. And they picked up a weird acquisition. It's an interesting one. Nixus Software, a Danish group who apparently specialise in PC ports. Which means I think Sony are probably doubling down on the ports of their older PS4 exclusive games, which is interesting.
Or even maybe going forward, using their expertise to bring more of their games to PC sooner, which I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings, but I don't see how a game being available to a wider audience is a bad thing. More revenue, more players, I think it's a good move.
It's just when you get into fanboy wars, that's when it's a bad thing. Speaking of Sony, I enjoy their games, but I can't say I always enjoy their business practices. So today they announced Ghost of Tsushima is getting a director's cut on August 20th. Now, Ghost of Tsushima was my game of the year last year. It's fantastic. It really feels like an Akira Kurosawa samurai film come to life. I loved it. And when they launched on the PS5 launched, it got a slight a frame rate boost. So it runs at 60 FPS, but it was still locked at 1080p, I think. So now they've now announced that they're going to upgrade the game for the PS5. So it's going to get 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Use of the adaptive triggers and haptic motor, and it's just going to, run a lot faster. You have to pay €30 to upgrade. It does come with a small expansion, Iki Island, which is off the coast of Tsushima. But I'm going to tell you now, this is starting to annoy me a bit because it's not the first time Sony has announced it. They recently also announced the Death Stranding Director's Cut for the PS5, and they're expecting people to pay again for that too. I'm not too happy with this, especially look at what Microsoft have been doing. All of their first-party games and a lot of third-party games are getting free upgrades through smart delivery Very simple, very streamlined process. Put the disc in, downloads the game, version of the game that you need, and it carries all your save progress across. With Sony, some games do offer free upgrades, but your save data will not carry across because they do not have a system that is, as streamlined as smart delivery. It's really annoying, and it's just another thing. It's another thing that niggles me about Jim Ryan's approach to the PlayStation as a whole. I just think he's very much a bureaucrat first, gamer very much not even second, like last.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
True.
Like I said, I haven't owned a PlayStation since the PS3, so I'm not as familiar with a lot of what you're talking about. But I do remember a lot of people making fun of smart delivery and calling it corporate speak, but evidently it was a better commitment to services than most people expected. News on my side, the XCloud, which is the Gamepass Ultimate stream your games part of the subscription. It's built into it, don't pay extra, etc. Anyway, they have upgraded their server blades this week. So now they are built from custom Xbox Series X hardware, so faster load times on your games. I believe right now they're streaming at 1080p 60 frames to your mobile devices, PC, etc. They've also expanded to browsers and iPhones. So pretty much wherever you are, whatever you're using, you can stream your games using the XCloud services, which I think I got a different name for it, but it's XCloud, right?
What is it on the iPhone? It's just cloud gaming.
There you go, Xbox Cloud Gaming, which I have been using. Now, I'll be honest, before this upgrade, I would most of the time use Remote Play on my Series X to stream to my phone because it loaded faster, because the original blades were Xbox One S custom architecture, so you had the slower load times. Last night, I think maybe even the night before, was the first times playing Yakuza in bed on my Razer Kishi, I would use the new servers, and it's fantastic. It loads so fast, it's awesome. And I'm using my in-home Wi-Fi because 5G cell support is extremely limited where I live. But on the home network with the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, a very good experience playing certain games. I wouldn't want to play a competitive, like first-person shooter, but a game like Yakuza especially, or any kind of third-person adventure, or I believe Flight Simulator is going to come to it, rather than download the entire mass of that game, I'll probably just play it through XCloud. And especially now since I can use it on, say, my PC, and depending what the software looks like, I know they're going to make it possible to play XCloud on your Xbox One. I wonder if they'll do that on the series consoles as well. And then you could, say, test games before you download them and play them locally. Or even certain games that you don't want to use your hard drive space for and don't need as quite a sharp experience as local hardware, like Flight Simulator, for example, you could play through XCloud on your series console. So
there's one thing I noticed, because I only started playing with the XCloud yesterday when I found out it got released for iPhone. And what I like is you don't have to have a controller for certain games. It has a touchpad. You can use your phone as a controller.
Yes.
So I found that pretty nice. I don't know if it's my internet or it's the servers, but I was trying to play some games on there, and I flicked on to 5G, and it was still very, very laggy. But it could be it's only in the beta mode for the iPhone at the moment, so that could be why.
Well, I saw some other people having some issues with, I think, Forza Horizon 4 on older PCs. They were experiencing some slowdowns and stuff, so there's probably some bugs to work out. I would expect that to run pretty well, but
I
do wish I would be I could, join in and give XCloud a go, but the internet out here in rural Ireland is just not there. So it's like we don't even have 5G. We have 5G ready internet, which is just terms from the internet provider trying to bother us off. But it looks really cool, but I haven't been able to try it.
I'm looking forward to when it's a bit more stable on the iPhone, because I was a bit upset when Android got it and then Apple pulled up a stink about it. So I'm glad we finally got something on the iPhone. So I'll be interested to play it when it's a bit more stable, especially when I'm away from my Xbox. I just want to play a quick game, be quite nice.
I agree. So hopefully, as infrastructure improves with cell phone networks and, say, projects like Starlink that Elon Musk is working on, things to bring more internet to more people. It's not just about convenience, it's about accessibility. Maybe you're in an area where consoles are extremely expensive, you can't afford one, or maybe financially, for whatever reason, it opens up gaming to a wider audience. A lot of people already have a cell phone or access to an older, cheaper computer, and as the internet becomes faster, more people will be able to play games. So I like that. I like that it breaks down barriers to bring games to more people, and the combination of XCloud and Gamepass, it's pretty awesome service, really.
I'm just wondering if they would release a subscription just for XCloud for those who can't play on a console, can't afford a console. I'll be interested to see if they'll just make a separate subscription model instead of putting it onto the Gamepass Ultimate.
That'd be interesting. I know they've talked about...
I think that'd be
looking
wise,
at other-
considering
yeah.
they're bringing streaming sticks out.
I mean, they've talked about it. They've talked about looking at different plans, family plans and the like, and maybe an XCloud plan. Who knows? We'll see.
But I think
We'll
that'll
see
be-
going
that'll be
forward.
Great.
It's exciting.
Able to game.
Absolutely. We're extremely fortunate that we have the opportunity, the privilege, whatever you want to say, that we can get online and complain about video games. What a fantastic blessing to be in the position to enjoy something like this.
And complain about Windows 11, even though it's not out yet.
There's a lot of people would
Speaking
give
of
a lot to be
news,
able to complain about Sony's business practices.
Speaking of news, as we're speaking, Dying Light 2 is having another event, so they're
Really?
showing off more of the game. There's an event on right now.
Oh, damn, right now?
Right now,
I guess
when
that's-
this podcast is coming out on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, right now, and there's nothing.
To be clear, this is already our second recording because so much news broke after the first one. So at some point we got to
No, it's not.
it. We got to ship it. Hi guys, I think we've pretty much talked about what we want to talk about this week. Dan, would you like to see us off?
Okay, guys, so I think that's all for this week. Thanks very much for listening to us now on about the news and what we've been playing. The first episode, we hope you really enjoyed it, and we hope you enjoy this one as well. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Carry On Gaming Podcast to keep up to date with everything that we're doing and what's going on. We'll have a special surprise for you as well coming very soon. You can say thank you to Grady for this. But until then, guys, just pull up your couch, have some popcorn, play some games, and no matter what, even if you're stressed out of your mind, just remember to carry on gaming. See you next week, guys.
Bye.